Hey y'all. So story time. We're gonna do another girlfriend story. So this was a couple years ago, and it's in a time when business was extremely busy, um, and I was getting a little bit overwhelmed with like housework on top of that. Like I'd be cleaning every day after work. I've got three kids. I'm a single dad, and it just was a lot working that many hours and then coming home and trying to keep my house clean. So I decided I was going to hire some housekeepers. So I posted it, and one person on the list kind of like had a lot of people saying, "Hey, she's good." So I reached out. She's like, yeah, for sure, we can do that. She's like, let's meet up, and she's like, I'll walk through, see how big the house is, see what it's going to take, and then we can discuss price and like schedule. So, perfect. So it had been a Friday. It had been May 26th of that year, and she, I had just gotten off work, and I was like, hey, I'm heading home. I'm exhausted, like, but meet me there, and we'll do this thing. So she's like, yeah, I'll be there shortly. They came to the door. It was her and her friend. And her friend walked in like she owned the place, like right in front. And she's like, my parents know you. And I was like, okay. She's like, you do work for my parents. I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, well, she introduced herself and then she said who her parents were. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I do work for them. And so I took them through the house and showed them like all the rooms. I showed them the backyard, and we just kind of chatted throughout the time. And she's like, okay, well, what I like to do is deep clean to start. And then after we deep clean, like we just kind of maintain and keep going. It's like, all right, perfect. It's like, what I would like to do is, I get, the kids week on, week off with their mom. We trade every Friday. So I was like, well, I would like it to be like every Friday that they go back to their moms, because then they'll be here for a week and then it'll be a mess and just clean it up. She said, perfect. And so we agreed on it, and they started doing their cleaning. And so the second time that they came to clean, her friend, the one that was with her, that her parents knew me, uh, she started texting me, and she's like, I'm headed to your house now. I'm going to be there cleaning. I was like, okay, perfect. The door's open. And after that, we started texting quite a bit. And she actually watched my dogs for me a lot when I would go out of town. She'd send me videos and stuff of her in the backyard with her son throwing the ball for my dogs. Uh, and they'd watch my TV and like hang out in my house while they watched my dogs. And yeah, so we built this pretty good friendship. And me and all the girls did, but specifically her. And there was the owner of the business, and then there was these two girls that were her friends that worked for her. But a couple months into this, uh, the one girl kind of like really came on to me pretty strong. Um, she obviously had been watching my dogs, and she'd always tell me, uh, she's like, anything for you, within reason. I was like, okay, and like I could tell that she was really into me, like, but I really wasn't into her. I wasn't attracted to her, but I thought that she was a lot of fun, and like I really liked her as a friend. So we kind of had this like friendship, but she started to like really come on to me strongly, uh, aggressively, I would say. Um, and I was just kind of like, well, okay. And we had this like relationship for a little bit. Um, Not like a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship, but that kind of ran its course. And like we didn't really talk a lot, uh, for a little bit. And then it started getting closer to like Thanksgiving and Christmas. And every Thanksgiving, I buy meals for families that can't afford them. And at Christmas, I buy presents for families that can't afford them. And she helped me with these things. She helped me with the meals and like boxing them up. And then she helped me with the presents. And she wrapped presents for me and helped me with all this stuff. And she wrapped presents one time with my mom. And my mom texted me and was like, she's like, Jordan, why don't you fall in love with this girl? She's awesome. I'm like, she is awesome and I love her, but I was like, I'm not going to date her. Like, I was like, I'm just not really into her like that, you know? But like, seeing her character and her personality and all these things, like really meant something to me. And started chipping away at that. But December comes and they told me they're like one of the days they were over cleaning. They're like, she's never seen Harry Potter, so we were gonna do a movie marathon of all the Harry Potters. I'm like, well, count me in. Like I'm in, and you know, uh, we set up like kind of like a night of it, and they're like, well, what do you want us to bring? And I told her, I was like, listen, I'm like, I love Reese's, so you just bring me a big Reese's. And so we scheduled this, and it was like kind of like a Christmas party slash just Harry Potter. It was just me and these two girls, three girls, the three girls, and they came over, and she brought me the Reese's, and I mean it was probably a softball size Reese's, 2 cups, and she brought over gingerbread houses, and we made gingerbread houses while we watched Harry Potter. We had drinks, and me and her were partners, and we built ours, and the other two girls built theirs, and it was a lot of fun. Um, and it was like that night that like when we were doing this stuff and I saw the way that she looked at me, like that I started to feel something, and I saw her in a different light. I saw her in a different way that like I hadn't to that point. Like I only saw her as like this friend, and something changed that night. But after we did our gingerbread houses and kind of watched Harry Potter, we were kind of having a lot of fun. But we ended up going to the bar and meeting some people there. And then I had enough, so I asked the girls to take me home. So the two girls brought me home, but she did not. She stayed at the bar. And on the way home, they're like, both of them are like, "You should really date her. Like, what's the deal? Like, why aren't you dating her? Like, we know you guys hang out and all this stuff, and she always talks about you, and she always gets really excited when we're coming over to clean or that she hears from you, and like we always hear about it." And I was just like, I was just like, I'm not really that into her. And I was like, but like I was like, I think she's amazing, and I love her, but I was just like, I'm not that into her. And like I said, that was like the first night that I had felt any sort of way about her in that way. And so I was still working through that. And they were just like, oh, she's like, well, we want you to be with her. I was like, all right, I'll take it into consideration. But, I went to bed and then woke up that next day, and I was just kind of like, like I could date her. Like the way that I saw her, her character, the things that she was doing for me, like in this kind of like selfless way. Maybe it wasn't a selfless way. I don't know. but coming over, taking care of my house, taking care of my dogs, helping me wrap these presents and stuff. Like that week after that, I went back over to her house and we wrapped some more presents for these kids, and we spent a lot of time together. And like moving forward, we started spending like every day together. We'd talk all day and hang out at night, and um, kind of just like developed and turned into this like actual relationship. And then we started dating and went on our first date. Um, I'm going to stop it there for part one because I know this is going to be a really long one. So stay tuned for part two. We'll start with our first date. God bless. Be kind. Love y'all.